Meeting of the Valley Center Planning and Zoning Board, Board of Zoning Appeals for December 18th. Let's just jump right to roll call, please.
Gary Jansen.
Here.
Reiner. Here. Andy Bradley. Conway. Rich Ellenberger. Scott Phillips. Dalton Wilson.
Here.
Okay, thank you. First item is the agenda for tonight's meeting. And if everybody's had a chance to review the agenda, if there's any questions, comments, I'll make a motion we approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, next is approval of the draft minutes from the November 25th meeting. Any questions, comments? I move we approve the minutes as presented.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good. I'm assuming no communications, or if so, we can take them up later. Okay. We have 9 public hearing items tonight. I think we can get through these relatively quick. Again, thank you for waiting. So we'll go through each one of these. I'll open up the public hearing. If there's anybody here who wants to speak on an item, I'll let you know at that point that you can come forward. If you are the person here for the item or the agent, you're welcome to come up. You don't have to, but we'll get to that when we get to each one. So we'll start off with item number 1 is review of V 2025-08, application of Dan Frazier pursuant to City Code 1710-08, who is petitioning for a variance to have a 896 square feet accessory structure, which is 176 square feet bigger than code allows, on property address as 501 East Valley Park Drive in Valley Center. 7:18 will open the public hearing.
All right, good evening. This item was before you last month for the setback. He's just coming this time with the variance for the size. As you mentioned, just under 200 square feet larger than required or allowed. We posted this in the paper, mailed notice to neighbors, and I did not receive any comments on this item, and staff do recommend approval of the variance.
Perfect, thank you.
And the applicant is here.
Okay. Is there any comments from the board?
Mm-hmm.
Paul, Amy, I'll assume not. Okay, is there anybody from the audience who would like to speak on this item? And again, no one, if you don't have to, and even the applicant, unless you want to. Okay, good, thank you. Good, if nobody wants to speak on this item, 7:19 will close the public hearing. Return it to the board. If we've got no any other issues, we knew this one was coming. We talked about this last time. I think it makes sense. Staff approves it. Based on the city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals, I make a motion to approve V 2025-08.
Second.
We got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Good, thank you. Moving on. Item number 2 is review of V 2025-11, application of William Arneson pursuant to City Code 1710-08, who is petitioning for a variance to have side and rear yard setbacks less than code requires for an accessory structure on property address as 317 North Park in Valley Center. 7:20 will open the public hearing.
All right, good evening again. This item, again, is a shed, has already been placed on the property. And so he's requesting a variance so that he can keep the shed where it was placed. It is approximately 7 feet from the south property line and about 4 feet from the west property line, where it's supposed to be 15 feet from the south property line and 10 feet from the west property line. We did notify the neighbors, publish notice in the paper, and we did not have any opposition to this. If you look in the, it's kind of hard to see, there you go. There are several other structures that are within those distances of property lines in the neighborhood, so it's not out of the ordinary, and staff do recommend approval of this variance.
Looks like there's a bunch of them.
And the applicant is here this evening as well.
Good, thank you. Any initial questions or comments from the board?
My only thought was this is not on a permanent foundation of any sort, correct?
Correct.
Doesn't
So
look like it.
It's required to be anchored per code.
Okay.
Good question. Okay, if no, is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on this item? Okay, seeing none at 7:21, we'll close public hearing. If there's no additional comments by the board, based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals, I make a motion to approve V 2025-11.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Next item, review of V 2025-12 application of Robert Rogers pursuant to City Code 171008, who is petitioning for a variance to have side and rear yard setbacks less than code requires for an accessory structure on property addressed as 425 West Albert in Valley Center. Open the public hearing at 7:22.
All right. This item is for accessory structure to be about 8 feet from the rear property line and 5 feet from the side property line. Again, code requires 10 feet from the rear and 15 from the side. We did publish notice in the paper and notify neighbors. I did have several calls on this one, and everyone was just questioning why they were notified. I explained to them that they were within the 200 feet of the property, and no one was in opposition. If I had a zoomed out picture to show you, almost every other lot along that rear easement has a shed within that proximity to their property lines.
Gonna hang up Kyle's phone.
And should be good, hopefully.
Yeah.
Within that distance, the main reason for the rear it being 8 is there is an 8-foot easement at the rear, so we did not allow that to be on top of the easement. So we had no issues with it. There's no other structures within 5 feet. There are gonna be fire code issues. The applicant is here this evening, and staff do recommend approval.
Thank you. Sometimes it's good for people to call so we know that notices are getting out, right? And like I said, I'm sure there's some others in the same area that are similar to this.
Yeah, if you can see, like just in this little bit aerial, there's 2 sheds to the right,
Gotcha.
left that are within those distances.
Thank you. Is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on this item? You're welcome to. You don't have to. Okay. If there is nothing else, it's 7:24 and we'll close public hearing. Any additional questions, comments from the board?
Nope.
This was item 3, right? Yeah. Based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals, I make a motion to approve V 2025-12.
Second?
Motion is second. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We're making progress. Next item is review of CU 2025-01 application of Tim McNeely pursuant to City Code 1710, who is petitioning for a conditional use application for an electrical facility on property currently unaddressed, located just north of 1150 South Meridian. 7:25 will open the public hearing.
All right, this is part 1 of 2 items for this project. The applicant is wanting to build his electrical business on this site. The first step is conditional use because it is zone C2, which does allow for his business to be there with a conditional use permit. So I have the site plan displayed on here just to kind of give you an idea of what the site looks like. The green square is where he wants to have his building. The orange square might be a little oversized, but that would be where his septic lateral field would be because there's no sewer out here. There's just city water. And then between the road and the building, that blue square with the orange lines would be the parking area. Based on the size of the building, he would need 5 parking stalls. And so that would fit up front. There is an easement currently on that property, or at least listed on that property. Before we'd issue any permits, that easement, he has to have either get it completely vacated or at least get us proof that the owner of that easement no longer has any interest in it. So that piece would be before the building permit would be issued. Otherwise, what he's wanting to build would fit on the lot with the setbacks that are there. We did receive one call from the neighbor across the street. I believe he's here this evening. Primarily, I was concerned about the screening with this being across from a residential area or residence, because this side of the road is commercial and industrial. The other side of the road does have residence on it. So the conditional use is step one. Can this business be on this site? Step two is the site plan to approve, the screening, the building placement, things like that. The applicant is here. If you have any questions for him, otherwise staff do recommend approval of the conditional use.
Say it one more time, why conditional use is needed here.
So this lot is zoned commercial or C2 general business district. And in that district, a trade shop, so electrical, plumbing, HVAC, all have to be a conditional use in C2, or he could go for rezoning to industrial. C2 is a little more restrictive, and so right now we're trying to see if we can get the conditional use instead of rezoning the property.
And just to be clear, everything else in here to the south is
To the south is C2. To the north is industrial.
right.
South is actually a mix. There's C2 and industrial. To the
Right.
north is industrial, and across the way is, I believe, RR1.
Residential, but this side's already, okay. Thank you. Any comments from the board?
I would have one. Do we have any noise issues with this particular use? Noise.
Typically, no, and I could let the applicant talk so he could maybe explain more about what he'll be doing in the
Sure.
shop. But I understand this will be similar to like Brian's Heating and Air, who are closer to town. It'll be a shop where they can do some of their work. They're going to be and storing their supplies. Most of their work will be done in the field at job sites.
No drop hammers or anything like that.
Don't believe so, but I would.
Okay.
Okay, shaking his head, no.
All right. Just checking. By the way, United was late to coming in tonight, so I apologize. I raced as fast as I could.
Thank you, Kyle. Anything else?
Luckily, electrical work's usually fairly quiet unless there's a mistake, and then it would be the applicant who would be making the noise. So I think we're probably okay.
Okay. Is there anybody from the audience who'd like to speak on this item? If anybody who'd like to speak, please come to the podium and give us your name and address.
How about maybe putting a berm up there and some trees on it?
And sorry, real quick, give us your name and address if you don't mind.
What's that?
Your name and address, please. Give us your name and address.
Stevens, 1151 South Meridian.
Sorry, so your question was whether they would put a berm up?
What's that?
Tell us your question again. What is your question?
Yeah, how about, well, I have a question how about putting a berm up over there with some trees on it and some evergreens or something, got some height? Because if you don't put something with the height on there, it's not going to do any good.
Is there, Kyle? Right, but I don't, we're going to have the site plan next. Is there any requirements for screening?
With the screening, we do not have, it needs to have screening because there is residence across from it.
Right.
Our screening requirements currently do not require a certain height for shrubs or bushes or trees. It just needs to be 100% screened. 100% screened from the residence. So he is proposing in the site plan to have two different varieties of shrubs. That one variety mature height is 18 inches. The other variety is 3 to 4 feet. And I believe he's proposing, I think it was 20 total shrubs kind of along parallel to the road and perpendicular to the road to kind of block the view of the two homes of the parking lot.
And I appreciate that. So let's make sure we don't get out of order here because we got two separate items. This first item is the conditional use permit. And we should probably come back to the screening on the next item, right?
Yes, sir.
Would you agree?
Mhm.
Okay. Because even if this item is approved, it still doesn't move forward until we agree to site plan.
Correct.
Okay. Anybody else who'd like to speak on it? Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to speak on this item? Okay. If not, at 7:31, we'll close the public hearing and return the discussion to the board. Any other questions or comments from the board? If there are none, based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Board of Zoning Appeals, I make a motion to approve CU 2025-01.
Second?
Motion is second. All in favor?
All, yeps, all, aye.
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 Okay. Next item, same property, review of SP 2025-06, application of Tim McNeely pursuant to City Code 1712, who is petitioning to build a commercial building for his electrical shop at property currently unaddressed, just north of 1150 South Meridian. 7:32 will open the public hearing.
So as mentioned during the previous item, I'm showing you a different view just to kind of show you the landscaping piece. So the driveway will come in and there will be parking between basically the sidewalk and the building. There will be room for him to plant shrubs from the drive to the south and then back to the east to help screen the parking lot from the residences across the street. He did submit an email saying he's wanting to plant rose glow barberry shrubs that have an 18-inch mature height and 24-inch mature width, and boxwoods that are 3 to 4 foot mature height and width. Our code does not require them to plant them at a certain size. So if they're allowed to, grow into maturity, they're not necessarily expected to be planted mature. So I can't guarantee 100% screening on day one. But as long as the landscaping is in there, he would get occupancy on the building.
So you're saying, sorry, the plan that's been proposed does meet requirements.
Correct.
For
Yeah, we
screening.
currently do not have requirements that state they said it have to be a certain height.
Okay. Any questions or comments from the board?
I was kind of curious if, I know we have a drawing of kind of what the footprint would look like. Do we have any indication or idea yet with this site plan, what the type of fabrication of this building is going to be, what the facade may look like outside of the screening?
This is Tim McNeely. What address is this again? This is 40.
It's just
Yeah. I just got this property, closed on it yesterday, so I'm new to this. Anyways, so what is the question one more time?
What kind of building are you planning on putting up? Are we talking brick and mortar, or just a metal
This is
sided
gonna
building?
be, I still need to get some quotes. I just need to get permission to see what I can do. Pretty much it's going to be, if you look right south of this property, you have that building for the auto,
Mhm.
Dream Auto. It's going to be a building similar to that. Just not that big of a size. It's going to be, my goal is to do the 40 by 40, but with pricing, if it's the same price to do a 40 by 60, then it would go back just another 20 feet on that. Whatever the cost is going to be. I got to get bids out and do all that.
Sure.
So it's going to look like that. In the front, I'll just make it look real pretty with some bushes and keep it maintained. And it's going to look a lot better with me on there than what it currently looks like.
Fair enough.
I'm also going to be in the process of trying to figure out what is inside that fence because they're not maintaining it at all. It's a bunch of pipelines. There's buildings. There's a big, huge satellite dish. It's very the fence that closes in that property is wide open, and the two little buildings that are in there, those doors are always wide open. If the wind gusts and kids can get in there, it's a hazard. So I'm trying to find out who owns it. It's my property, but it's an easement that I can't build on. If I can get it to where we can knock it down and just have it like just a plain, like a gravel parking lot, I cannot do any kind of pavement because it's an easement. But if I can make it look better, I'm going to do everything that I can to make it look better and also not a hazard for kids to get in.
Sure. I can appreciate that. Thank you.
So that's my goal.
Thank you.
I guess I'd have a question.
For him, for that?
Yeah, I have a
Sorry,
question.
we got one more.
I'm sorry, one for the applicant. You heard the gentleman talk about screening and for his part of his neighborhood. You have any comments about what you'd like to do, or you kind of, I think, sense the sensitivity of the fact that some screening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm down for whatever is going to look good. I mean, but the building's going to look good.
So you'd be open to the staff suggestions on that?
I'll
on
be
screening?
open to whatever. It shouldn't be that big of a deal. If I need to put a tree up, I can, like a little something higher. I'm open for anything
Okay,
to
sounds good.
make accommodations if I need to.
Okay.
Thank you. I think we're good. Anybody else in the audience like to speak on this item? If not, it's 7:37. We'll close the public hearing and return the discussion to the board. Are there any additional comments or questions?
I don't know how much control we have over this. I think we've had this conversation before too with other similar site plan reviews of just encouraging applicants when they are building, especially on the main road, to really consider that front facade of what it looks like as people are driving into town. It sounds like you have great intentions with the property, not only to obviously clean it up as you spoke about, but to build a good quality business with keeping curb appeal in the neighborhood and that street in mind. So I can really appreciate your sentiment there, but just encourage everyone who's building a property of this type in this area to consider that when they're making plans. But definitely appreciate that you've done that.
Thank you. Okay. If there's no other questions or comments, you have anything else to add?
We're ready to go.
Based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board, I make a motion to approve SP 2025-06.
Second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Good luck. Next item is review of LS 2025-02, application of Tammy Castleman pursuant to City Code 160901, who is petitioning for a lot split involving the splitting of property the applicant owns and is currently addressed as 2641 East Ford Street. Open the public hearing at 7:39.
All righty. So I show you the aerial shot first, just kind of give you a better picture. Tammy's existing home is here. She has a pond, and then she has two outbuildings. She has approximately 10 acres and is wanting to sell off about half of it, or split off half to sell, I should say. So the property line that she's proposing allows her to keep her outbuildings. So it's kind of sitting at an angle. This down here kind of shows you she's wanting to split off about 4.5 acres roughly to sell. Our regulations do not allow for a lot to be internal by itself. It has to have road frontage. However, the buyer of this lot owns the lot directly west, and they have been told that to be able to have this, they have to do a merger. So we're splitting it tonight, or you're considering splitting it tonight so that she can sell it. And then the surveyor is prepared to prepare the documents to get the newly created parcel combined with the parcel that the buyer already owns. So there will be one lot with road access to meet our regulations. I had only received one call on this, and she actually showed up this evening as well. But when she realized that this didn't actually touch her property, she was completely fine with it and left this evening. So staff, with the caveat that the person purchasing has to proceed with the merger, staff are recommending approval of the split.
Is there a period of time that within which that has to happen?
So I did not set one. However, the other person does intend to build, and I will not allow them to build without having the lot conform.
So they want to build along,
They cannot build on it without the lot having direct access.
even on the one to the west, or on,
They could on that one. I think,
but they wouldn't be able to build on this. So okay,
and
that helps.
The surveyor is prepared to get everything submitted. We're just they're waiting for it to be officially split so that they can sell it.
Do we have any indication what they're wanting to build? I'm just concerned if it's just going to be, a single family residence or something they're wanting to build back there, still having that frontage access.
So this one actually, the neighbor that's purchasing actually came before you before to wanting to get a variance to build an accessory structure before their residence.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
That was tabled, and then they've decided to just completely hold off. They want to build a single family residence with a detached shop.
Mhm.
And so they wanted more room because there's a pond on the property that they have that limits the buildable area. And so they're wanting to get some more acreage to be able to spread out a little bit.
Okay.
And
Got
the owner and applicant is here this evening. If you have any questions for her.
Is there anybody, thank you for that. If there's no other comments from the board, is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on this item? Fair enough. 7:42, we'll close public hearing. Any additional comments or questions from the board? If there are none, based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board, I make a motion to approve LS 2025-02.
I'll second.
A motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Moving on. Next item is review of LS 2025-03, application of Eric Gilbert pursuant to City Code 160901, who is petitioning for a lot split involving the splitting of property the applicant owns and is currently addressed as 429 East Harper in Valley Center. We'll open the public hearing at 7:43.
All right, this is a series of 3 that'll be happening in this development. The parcel for this split is outlined in red up on the screen. It's a very large parcel, primarily filled with duplexes. It is not completely built out yet. This item currently is being split into 36 lots. You will more than likely see this again in January, as they have some other lots that do not meet, that they would like to create that need a variance because they're smaller than what code requires. But for the 36 before you this evening, they all meet our regulations for the R4 zoning district. We did notify the neighboring property owners, did not receive any opposition, and staff are recommending approval of this lot split.
Okay, thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
I don't know. This question may even be a little bit out of line, but I'm curious if we can ask the intention behind this lot split. Like, what's the purpose?
The applicant is here. I'll try and speak for him. But please stop here if I speak wrong. My understanding is they want to be able to offer these up for sale individually. Each side, each duplex basically is a townhouse.
Okay.
Is that correct?
As well, I guess it depends on whoever purchases it, but I'm curious if these are all currently rental properties. I'm just curious if they're going to stay that way. If they're going to, I'm concerned about a subdivision that we approved under unified management being, sort of maintained all together, falling into 15 different rental companies or property owners, not having the same spirit of keeping things nice like it was originally brought to us is what I'm concerned about.
That's that. Okay.
So this property will be under one HOA.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Right. And no, I'm good.
Good, no, thank you. You're good.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Anybody else from the audience want to speak on this item? Okay. 7:45, we'll close the public hearing. Any other questions or comments from the board? Thank you for asking that. Okay, if not, based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board, I make a motion to approve LS 2025-03.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next item is review of LS 2025-04, application of Philip Ruffo pursuant to City Code 160901, who is petitioning for a lot split involving the splitting of property the applicant owns and is currently addressed as 814 South J Street.
All right.
7:46, and we'll open the public hearing.
So again, just like the last one, the lot in
close
question is
to
in
the
red
last
up on the
one.
screen. They're wanting to subdivide that into 8 lots. All lots do meet our zoning regulations. And we did notify the neighbors. We did not receive any comment or inquiries about this, and staff do recommend approval. And the applicant is here as well.
Couple of really deep lots.
Kyle, it's been a while since I've driven through this neighborhood. These lots on this section are not developed currently.
These ones are. There
Oh, these
are
ones are.
4 existing buildings
Okay.
on this lot.
And they're also zoned R4.
Correct.
Oh, if I would have just scrolled down, there they are. Awesome.
Anybody in the audience who'd like to speak on this item? Didn't think so. 7:47 will close the public hearing. Is there any additional questions or comments from the board? Okay, moving on. Based on city staff recommendations, public comments and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board, to make a motion to approve LS 2025-04.
I'll second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we got one more to go. Review of LS 2025-05, application of Philip Ruffo pursuant to City Code 160901, who's petitioning for a lot split involving the splitting of property the applicant owns and is currently addressed as 844 South J Street in Valley Center. 7:47, open the public hearing.
All right, last one. Again, the lot in question is up on the screen, outlined in red. This one is similar to the first one, has a couple lots that they would like to create that are not conforming, so they might be bringing those back in January. So this will be splitting into 7 lots. These are built on. So if you can see like this one here where my cursor is, this dashed line here is if they come before you again with a variance. So this one here would be a larger lot with one duplex building on it. This one would be one duplex building. This one would be as well. The rest of them would all be split down the middle of the building, creating individual sides. There was no opposition to this raised by people notified, and so staff recommend approval as the ones that are proposed this evening do meet our regulations for R4.
Got it. Thank you. Any questions or comments from the board?
I have a question, and these are still meeting the new floodplain requirements.
This entire area was brought out of the floodplain.
Right.
Phil,
But this section also.
correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Anybody in the audience like to speak on this item? Okay, it's 7:49. We'll close the public hearing. Any additional questions or comments from the board?
I have some concerns about the variance that's going to be requested, but as for what's presented to us tonight, I don't think I have anything.
Good, thank you. Okay, so based on city staff recommendations, public comments, and discussion by the Planning and Zoning Board, I make a motion to approve LS 2025-05.
Second?
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Good, thank you. Thanks for being here. Good luck. Yes, I'm glad we didn't have to do this all or ask everybody to come back next time.
Yeah.
Did you have something?
I don't have to ask if you've been busy.
Yeah, it's a crazy world these days. I'm glad the year's winding down. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So, okay, I'll call you tomorrow and let you know. I know we talked about it, but I can't remember. But I'll call you tomorrow. Okay. Right.
I thought you all were just staying around to see the rest of this. Oh, I got it. Yeah. Yeah. No hurry. I get that. Okay. Any older unfinished business?
None this evening.
New business?
None this evening.
And I'm not rushing to this. I asked it last time and it's probably needs to wait till everybody's here, but one of these meetings, we probably need to have officer elections, right?
So I did discuss this with Barry. We actually were supposed to do that in April and I completely missed it.
Did you say in April?
Yes. That's when the terms are the terms expire. And so Barry, which I should say our city attorney's here this evening, it said that we were fine to operate until April as we have been this year.
What if we don't want to?
Then maybe Paul can run the meeting.
No, it's whatever. Yeah.
But so I did not put it on the agenda this evening.
I
hoping that-
couldn't remember. For some reason, I've done this for too many years. I thought it was at the end of the year, but that probably makes sense.
When Dalton brought it up, I was like, oh, maybe it is. And then I went back and looked and I was like, nope, it's supposed to be with officer elections. And we appointed people, we reappointed people for their terms, but we didn't.
Oh, you know
have the
what?
board vote.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah.
Well, last meeting, I heard that there's somebody else interested in being the chair, so I'm happy to get to that point. Okay. Well, we got through that good. Thank you for having stuff prepared. I don't want to unnecessarily rush those, but I think it made sense I think in all my time on this planning commission, that's the most items we've ever had on one agenda. So good.
All good.
Yeah.
Do we have any staff reports?
Nothing else? All right. So if we've got nothing else, anything from
No.
board members? If not, I make a motion, we adjourn.
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Everybody have a good Christmas.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy. Thank you.